Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of It's Happening. My name is Jared and I'm your host. Today we will be diving into mysterious waters. We will be diving into waters both mysterious and profound. We're going to talk about something that's both personal and universal, a journey that's simultaneously. Yeah, I'm still working on some words. Dang it. I I can read them in my head great, but out loud. Anyways, we we are going to talk about something that's both personal and universal. A journey that is inward and outward. Today we're talking about spiritual awakenings. In those you know how in those old cartoons a light bulb would suddenly flicker on above a character's head when they all had a brilliant idea? Well, imagine that, but instead of a light bulb, it's a divine spotlight. And instead of an idea, it's a life altering revelation. And it absolutely is. That's what spiritual awakening feels like, at least to me. It's like God, the ultimate director, suddenly yelled, "Cut. Time for the time for a plot twist." My own journey began quite unexpectedly. God didn't send me an engraved invitation or a celestial appointment card. No, he spoke to me through whispers in the wind, through rustling pages of the Bible, and the voices of people around me. It was like playing a divine version of Connect the Dots. And let me assure you, he had quite a lot to say. His messages, carefully woven into the fabric of everyday life, sparked questions that stirred emotions in me and ultimately set me on a quest to seek him more earnestly. But why is seeking God so important? Well, imagine going on a road trip without a map or baking a cake without a recipe. It's a bit like that. Seeking God gives our spiritual journey direction, purpose. It helps us make sense of a crazy world around us. And more importantly, the world within us. So buckle up, dear listeners, because we're about to embark on a divine adventure. We're about to delve into the complexities of spiritual awakenings, the subtle ways God communicates with us, and the importance of seeking the divine. It's a journey that promises to be as enlightening as it is exciting. So, are you ready? Let's get started. After all, it is happening. All right, guys. And yes, I use my AI team, that website I talk about a lot. I use that to help me write opening monologues. This one was too long to put in my teleprompter, and I'm still kind of playing with it, so I'm kind of getting it. So, guys, this week, this episode is extremely important to me. I have been doing a series on the unseen realm, and I debated on putting this on there, but this one is just more personal. It's not. It is about all of that, but it's just some personal things that happened to me, and very, very, very recently. And I'm going to go over a few other things too as well. So, oh yeah, guys, I finally got. Oh, before we get started, if you would please hit the like button, subscribe button, comment below, tag your friends and families. When we reach 100 followers on Rumble, we'll do a giveaway for my wife's awesome handmade tumblers. We can even design one for you. And don't forget to go to vandystreet.com to get those made today. If you want something personalized for you, though, we need to talk. So comment, and we'll talk and get something set up for you. My wife is the best of the best when it comes to that. And don't forget about our new line of products, our CBD line of products, guys. And I'll put the links to all of that down in the comments below. So yes, this is very personal to me, and I imagine like most of you probably listening, my journey has been crazy. I mean, okay, so in the past, as most of you know, I deal with addiction. I deal with depression, anxiety. I get I get to the point where sometimes I'll lock myself in my home. I won't go anywhere. I won't talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. I can't even walk out the door. Not anymore, but I used to get like that. So I do completely understand. And this journey for me hasn't been something that's just I just started and boom, like some people do it. It hasn't happened like that for me because I am extremely hard headed. I for whatever reason, I learned things the hard way over and over and over and over before it snaps, and I finally and I guess God made me like that and to deal with the things that I've had to deal with in life. I used to question why if there is a God, why would he have put me in a body like this, with a mind like this, with a life like this, with opportunities that are lacking, with everything that I turn around. I was angry, I was pissed, I blamed him for everything. Um, and but there was something inside me, even though I was doing that most of my life, there was still something inside me where I continued to seek here and there. But I never would get to the point where I felt like I was connected to God, like I was actually forgiven, like God even cared enough to forgive me. It took me a long, long time to get to that point. Um, but the only reason I couldn't get to that point was because of me, myself, my brain, my mind could not accept certain things, could not wrap my brain around certain aspects of all of this. And like I said, again, when we get into ourselves and we start, poor me, why would he put me in a life like this? If there's a God that loves you so much, why would he let this happen? Why would he let that happen? And I used to get so pissed when people would tell me it's meant to happen like that. And 'cause I couldn't grasp that. I couldn't understand that. I was like, so you're telling me God loves me, God wants the best for me, but he just allows this to continue to happen over and over and over again. And I could so when I started getting back into this journey, praying was difficult for me. So my prayer is more like having a conversation with God. When I'm driving my car around, I sit and I talk to him. So over the last few years, when I first started doing this, that's how I would do it, and I did it. And I have been up and down, back and forth, beating my head. I've had my moments in the past couple of years where I've cursed God and got angry about it, and still went to that same old thing of why does he continue to let this happen? Why am I cursed, and why does this keep happening to me? And I continued to say those things. And something happened to me this week where I have been seeking God in ways that I never imagined. I dig much deeper than most people would tell me to. I dig much deeper because that's what I need, and I absolutely need it. And I didn't understand that God has been talking to me all along. I just wasn't seeking God. I would tell myself I was, or I would uh convince myself that I was, but truly deep down, everything I was seeking was still self-centered. Everything I was seeking was still, or I don't know if oriented is the right word, but I'm going to use it. You can you can tell me I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. Um, was based around the world, was based around things that I thought I needed, things uh, that we desired. You understand what I mean? I wasn't praying to God except for like to save me, or to put me in this position, or to put me in that position, or to do this or to do that. And these past couple of weeks, something happened to me. I woke up from a dream one morning and I was reading the Bible, and something just went off in my head. It was like somebody was talking to me. And instantly, it was like, so let me find the passage. I'm gonna read this passage to you guys and see if it helps you understand, because it goes with what I'm talking about, and maybe it'll help you understand more. And I know I need to get better at doing some of these things, so please be patient with me. And I truly appreciate all the support so far, guys. So okay, where did it go? Number. Okay, so this is Matthew 13, um, 16. Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, which you see, and they have not seen them, and to hear those things which I heard, but they have not heard them. I have heard this. I don't know how many times in my life, guys. I have heard it over and over and over and over. And that morning, I truly had eyes that saw. I truly had ears that heard. A light bulb just truly went off. Yes, the things that I've been doing were not necessarily wrong. I'm not saying that, because it continued to help me grow. It's got me to the point where I am now. But it's like God slapped me in the face and was telling me, you're not doing my will. You don't pray for you to do my will. Which in a way I thought I was. I truly thought I was, but I wasn't. It was, and at that moment, I realized I got to change the way I pray. So for the past 2 weeks, I started doing that. And instead of just, I pray for those things that I want, but I pray for it as for God to put it on my heart, to open the eyes of my heart so I see that it's His will, for me to be able to follow His will, for me to be able to even understand things when I hear them, for me to truly see them when I see them. So saying that, I wrote this down last night because I had to. I had to at that moment because it was connected to this. So this is what's happened to me over this past week, and I'm going to get into some more of it. So again, guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. We do a bunch of giveaways here. I do want to talk with you guys, so comment back and forth. Tell me if I'm on, what you think. Tell me your story. Tell me whatever. Just comment back and forth. Okay, so I'm just gonna read this, and I'm not a great writer. I'm getting better at starting to put things into words and to wording them. I've been practicing on that because it's one of my biggest flaws. So I'm gonna read this. Okay, this week I've had some pretty amazing spiritual awakenings. I told y'all a few days ago I was having an extremely hard time. I was stressing. I was constantly, things were happening around me, and I was getting as stressed as I've been in a very, very long time. If you didn't watch that episode, please go back a few episodes, and I go deep into it. It's, I think I put on there, it's a personal, so you'll understand. I'll tell you what, I'll find it and I'll link it below so you can watch that video. So again, let me get back to where I'm at. I now know it was all a test to me, to push me, to see if I am ready, to see if I am ready for the things that I'm praying for, to see if I am ready to be the disciple that God needs me to be, to see if I'm even ready to hear and understand those things. It's very important for this whole episode. Keep remembering that. The past 2 days, I've been studying, seeking God, and begging for Him to be able to hear me for me to be able to hear Him when He speaks to me, and to open my eyes, to truly open them to see. For the first time in my life, God spoke to me. I was praying. I was laying on my bed praying. My wife was over in the chair, and I was praying because I was dealing with something, and I was begging God to hear me. I said, I need to know you're listening to me, and I need you to tell me in a way that will wake me up, because I'm dealing with being pulled back and forth between the world and God, between the world and the spiritual. And there's so much propaganda and lies and manipulation going on. And I don't want to be a part of that. I want to help people get out of that. I want to help bring people to God so they can see that this is very real. Immediately, I got a vibration on my hand, and I looked down, and it was a Bible verse. I'm gonna find it because I texted it to my wife at that moment. I had to send it to her right then at that moment. Hold on, let me find. I'm gonna tell you exactly which one it was. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. I about jumped out of my skin. I could not believe it. I was like, oh my God. I was shocked. I stood there for a minute. I was like, now, and I understand that there's probably a couple of you watching right now that'll say, oh, that's just a coincidence. Oh, things like that happen. And my brain is trying to connect dots that aren't there. I know that because I used to say the very same thing. I used to say those exact things when people would tell me this stuff, and that's exactly what kept me from God. Because I knew better than God, didn't I? I knew that couldn't have been him, right? That's just a coincidence. But not only that, on top of that, the immediate lift of everything that I had been stressing about for years, but really this week, at that moment, it was gone. And I haven't been stressing about it since. Now, I mean, I've been talking about it, and I've talked to my wife about it, obviously, but I'm not holding that down and letting it gear my life, my day-to-day life. Have you ever experienced something like that? Because I've experienced things close to this in my past, and I'll go deeper into that later, but I didn't realize that's what it was. It was one of that moments throughout my life where God did that to me. So when I finally awoken, I can look back and I see that he's been there pushing me all along. He's been there guiding me all along. He's been there talking to me all along. Even when I was cussing him out, even when I was so pissed that I would tell other people that he didn't exist or whatever. He's been right there walking beside me because he knew what I needed to finally wake up. All right, so I'll read on a little bit more. Okay. And as I said earlier, I've heard this 1,000 times, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. I actually hear now, and I can actually see it now. And okay, so this is not even 24 hours later. I am sitting on my back porch, cleaning my area back there, and I'm praying, talking to God again. And in this moment, I'm not stressed. I'm not dealing with anything. I'm just talking to God. And I continually ask God to talk to me, to show me, or to have the Spirit tell me or show me things. But I never knew I was doing it in the wrong way. I was doing it for personal reasons, in a personal way, for personal gain, for things that we all do. We all do it. I mean, we all do it. So this was the second message, and less than 24 hours later, I open my Bible, and this is what I see. In all things you do, seek him and his will, and have faith. Do this now. I couldn't find the scripture, so I just wrote it down. And I meant to find it before I come on here, so I apologize. I will try and find it and link it below. But that was my second message in less than 24 hours from God. And all that I do, seek him. And in all my ways, have faith in him to to not just continue to go around talking about how I have faith and I'm and going through the motions just to go through the motions, hoping that something would finally change. And it did. And it has and it does and it will and it can for you as well. It absolutely can. All right. So later, this has shaken me, but in a new and amazing way. I have hope that I haven't had in a very long time. Um, and I now know what I need to do to keep pushing forward, to keep seeking God, telling others my story honestly, for God's glory, not for mine. I've never felt this before. I truly feel it now. Zero stress. At that moment, a huge weight is lifted off of me. As long as I can continue seeking God and telling others about God's grace and glory in my life, I feel like I am on the right path. Can you relate? Has anything like that happened with you? How does God talk to you? God talks to every one of us. But in our minds, we've allowed this world to manipulate our brains into thinking what uh somebody must be crazy if God's talking to him. I mean, you can decide to be a man or a woman if you want, but if you say God's talking to you, it's time to be locked up in a mental hospital, right? That's the world we live in today, people. Uh, I truly believe God has put me on this path now for a reason. And I'll explain a little bit more because, and I've talked to my wife about this. It's something I've struggled with most of my life. As growing up around me, I had friends that were talented. They were talented with music. They were talented at writing. They were talented with drawing. They were talented at carpentry. They were just talented. They had a talent, and you could see it in them. And it inspired me, but at the same time, it would crush me because I didn't have a talent. I wasn't good at drawing. I'm not a good singer. As you can tell, I'm not good at writing or putting things into words. I'm getting better. For a long time I could not understand why I didn't have any talent at all. And that's that frame of thought is a lot of what kept me in the same cycles over and over and over again. Poor me, poor fucking me. Why don't I have this or why don't I have that? Why didn't God give me this? Why did God give that person that, but not me this? That thinking is the most dangerous trap to get in. And the world has kept me in that thinking for a very long time. Now, I'm not blaming. Obviously, I made choices I made. I made decisions I made. I did things I did in my past, and I have always taken responsibility for that. I'm not that addict that doesn't take responsibility for his actions or for the things that I've done. I've done a lot of horrible things in my life. I have. I don't blame the devil. I don't blame God. I don't blame anybody but me. Uh, but by doing that, that's what allowed me to grow. That's what allowed me to start realizing that it is me, that it is my thinking, that it is the patterns that I keep going through, that I keep blaming God for, is because of me, not him. And yes, he did put me here for a reason, to learn, to go through the things that I went through so I could come on here and do the things that I am doing now. Remember when I told you I didn't have a talent or I have felt like that up until about a few months ago, people. And even to this day, I still feel like I really don't have a talent for whatever reason. Like I said, guys, I have a hard time putting some things into word, but I didn't feel like I had that. And I can see it all around me and other people. Like my wife, she's so good with the cups, the tumblers, the crafts. She's talented with that stuff. She can see it in her mind and then she can put it together. I have an extremely difficult time doing that. But in all this time of me complaining to myself about not having a talent or not having this or not having that, I've suddenly come to realize I'm not shy. May not be much of a talent, but I am not shy. I am not afraid to get in front of this camera and tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. I don't back down from people. People do not scare me. No matter how tough, no matter how brave, no matter. So the fear of coming on here and having people make fun of me or talk bad about me or any of that stuff doesn't faze me. As a matter of fact, it entertains me. It does. I enjoy it. It actually tells me a lot about people. It actually tells me more about the person that's commenting than it does about me. You can learn human behavior that way, and I pick up on patterns that way. So I am talented, or I have talent that I am now growing, I guess you would say. But I don't know that you call this a talent. That's not what I mean. I'm just trying to say that this is where I finally, for the first time in my life, feel like I went through all of those things in my life because and when people would tell me it's for a reason, God, you're going through something for a reason. And I remember I told you I'd get pissed, so mad that I'd want to hit him. It would aggravate me. And I'm like, well, damn it, he needs to tell me the reason because I'm confused here. On one hand, I feel like I'm doing good. And then every day I'm getting kicked in the you know what every time I turn around. So what am I doing wrong? That's how I feel, man. That's truly how I feel. A lot. And I know a lot of you do as well. But this past week, I truly see it now. I truly understand why God allows us to go through things. I truly am grateful He has given us the free will to go through those things, to learn and grow, to be able to do those things. Now, some people go on to be a pastor. Some people go on to do other things along the way. Now, I don't know that I will do something like that, but I can be a disciple this way. I can reach people this way. Nobody told me that. God told me that. I was driving around yesterday, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what can I do because as most of y'all know who follow my social media, I do multiple things. I'm always seeking for something online. I'm seeking for something new to learn, some new kind of job, new kind of career. I'm always trying new things, right? I'm always doing that. I'm always it's part of who I am, and it's not a bad thing. It could be, and I've been screwed a lot by it, but I never felt where God gave me talent where I can make a difference until now, until today, until right now. And guys, that is, I can't hardly even put into words how I have felt the past couple of days because of what's happening and what's happened. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. For y'all that know my story, I've had spiritual awakening. I've done certain things, and that's what brought me to God to begin with. But those were using substances and chemicals, and I'm not saying that everybody should go do that because it's not for everybody. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that's what works for me. But this spiritual experience blew all of that out of the water. There was no chemical on this planet that can make me feel the way I felt the past couple of days. The release that I have, I can't remember a time in my life I've ever felt that free, truly free. It's shocking in a sense. It's almost surreal that you don't know what to do or what to say. And you're like, is this really happening? Is my mind making this up? Am I just doing this because I really want God to talk to me? So am I making these things up in my head as I go? Absolutely not. Again, guys, I used to think those ways. I used to think all of those things, just like a lot of y'all think. But I promise you, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you've been through, no matter how much you think you failed at everything, God is sitting right there cheering you on, just waiting for you, just waiting for you to realize maybe it's just one thing you need to change. Maybe it's just your thought pattern that needs to be redirected. I see the world in a whole new way, but that's been going on since I started seeking God, and since I read the unseen realm. I the Bible literally comes alive to me now. I am absolutely going to start doing more on my unseen realm. I have been looking for somebody that would want to do some episodes like this with me. Come on here and talk about God, almost like a Bible study type thing, but not for no denomination, not for no religion. I use books that are not considered I'm fixing to move everything around in here. Apocrypha books or whatever they call the books that they took out. I like to use those, and I just got this in the mail. I have been waiting on this one. So now I need to start studying this one too. Now I take what I can take from it. I learn what I can learn from it, and I'm telling you guys, you want true freedom, get out of self and seek God first, and the rest you'll get. It will come. It's right there. It's right in front of our very eyes. The world has manipulated us so badly. And I mean, just look around today. It is absolutely okay to hate Christians. You can scream gas the Jews if you're on the left, but you can hate Christians. What did the Bible tell us? That in the end days, that they will be hated. Christians will be hated, more brutally murdered, this and that. Now, I'm not saying it's the end days. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that the Bible told us all of these things were going to happen. And everything that we are witnessing happening around us, it has told us that it's going to happen. And it is happening. It is happening. Anyways, guys, so thank y'all so much for listening to this. This is just part of my story. And it's been truly liberating, I guess is the word that I would use. I am a new person. I understand the concept of Jesus completely changing who you are, being reborn. I understand that now. I never did. And I've been doing this for years, seeking God. I started doing it to prove that there is no God up there trying to help. There is no God. Or trying to prove that God hated me. I didn't get into doing this because I was seeking God. I was doing the opposite. I was so angry. I was so tired of it. I was so tired of people telling me that everything was supposed to happen for a reason, or for this or for that. So I started seeking myself. Hold on. Dang it. Let me make sure it didn't mute me again. All right. Yeah, so I started seeking myself. And things almost on a daily basis now unfold to me. I truly hope that my videos are helping at least one person out there. If you're watching this and you are dealing with something today, just know that God does love you. No matter what this world tells you. No matter what anybody tells you. Start to look for yourself. And if you don't know where to begin, come hop on with me and let's talk. Let's do this. We'll learn together. Let's grow together. Let's do this. Again, guys, thank y'all so much. Please hit that like button, subscribe button, comment below, share this video with your family and friends. Share it with somebody who might be suffering today, who doesn't truly understand that there is a way out. Why does my mouse keep doing that? That there is a way out. That there is a way through, that there is a way better. But first, we have to start to look within. You want your life to change? Stop blaming everyone else around you. Stop blaming God. Stop blaming everybody. Even though those people may put us in some bad positions in life, in our circumstances in life, yes, it's wrong that they put us in these positions and they continually put us in worse positions. It is wrong. But it is not the reason why you can't do something that you can't do. You can't do it because your brain keeps telling you you can't do it. You can do anything anything you put your mind to. I truly believe that now. I'm not just saying that. I absolutely believe it with all of my heart. The world doesn't want you to believe it. They've turned schools into indoctrination camps to get you to hate yourself, to get you to hate everybody else. We really need to get back to loving one another and finding ways to compromise, guys. Again, I'm sorry. I could go on for a while about this, so I'm going to go ahead and end this, guys. Thank y'all so much. You can also support us by sending stars on Facebook. Like there's a tip thing on Twitter. You can also Cash App, PayPal. I'm working on some things with my website. I had to get it set down for now because I'm going to redo everything to where I'm going to put some blogs and some other things on there. So we have a subscription thing for y'all. So it doesn't just feel like I'm begging for money, because I'm not begging for money. I'm trying to earn and grow and to be able to bring y'all stories that you enjoy. So thank you. God bless. Comment below if you want to talk. If it's personal, send me a message. Again, God loves you guys. Don't let your mind convince you otherwise. Have a wonderful evening.